didn't really vibe with that, and I thought I was going to love it. I thought it was going to be it for me. I feel traumatised from it every time I think about it. I'm traumatised. I loved every minute. Hello, I'm Lizzie and this is Lizzie Reads, and welcome to my January wrap up. This jumper doesn't sit right because it's back to front because I didn't realise it was dirty. Sorry. Also, just to add, if you're new here, sorry about the setup. I have not the easiest living situation to film in, so we're just going with what we can get. So yeah, we've got some weights things, barbells, the things that hold the weights. They're not mine. Let's talk about the books. So I had a pretty interesting reading month in January. TBR wise, it wasn't great in reading from my TBR. I had quite a small TBR and I still didn't manage to read it. I vlogged the whole month in a few different vlogs, so I'll link those down below, and like what books I read in each vlog, so that you can sort of go to where you want it, because there's some particular books that I'm going to talk about, hint Fortuna Swarm, where you may want to read the vlogs because I literally lost my mind. You may want to read the vlogs, you may want to watch the vlogs because I lost my mind in those vlogs. First of all, in total I read 15 books, which is pretty good, pretty average for me at the moment, considering the distribution between like really long fantasy books and short romance series. 4 of those books were physical books from my planned TBR, so that means that 11 of those were mood reads. In total I read 6,273 pages, and that equates to about 202 pages per day. So I've been tracking my diversity with just a little like diversity marker, so 6 of these books included some form of diversity, or diversity worth it for tracking. This is just more for my personal tracking, so I got 6 books, so that would include like LGBT rep, POC rep, things like that, disability rep, you know, it's not split up on this book. It is in my spreadsheet, but we'll get into that in the stats video, I'm sure. I DNF'd 1 book, and that was Lock and Key by Joe Hill, because I love the series, but I just wasn't in the mood to read it, so it's fine. And what else did I do? I hauled 5 books. Don't know what books they are, couldn't tell you. Didn't film a whole video, so sorry about that. And I unhauled 3 books. That just means I took books off my TBR to put them at my mum and dad's house, so they're not on my immediate unread shelves. I've got quite a unique, again with the living situation, I'm living at my boyfriend's place, but I still have space at my parents' house, so until we have our own place, those books are split, so I'm only counting the books on my TBR as the books that are in this house. And I unhauled 3 of them, so I took them back home. And that, with the books that I read off my planned TBR, my physical TBR went from 41 to 39, which isn't too bad. It's less than what I started with, so I don't want it to go too low, but I want it to be a little bit less because I'm starting to run out of space. So let's get into the books. The first book that I read for the year was, I Dare You, I Bet You, I Hate You, and I Promise You, and these are all by Isla Madam Mills, and I think it's actually Ilsa. I call her Isla, but actually I think her name's Ilsa. Sorry, in my head it's just Isla, which is one of my favourite names ever. So irrelevant. But these are 4 romance series, and are they hockey romances? I think they might be. I'll just pop it. Hockey. What sport do these guys play? Do you know what? It's genuinely been so long now that I can't remember. Because I was meant to film this earlier in the month, but then I got sick with COVID, so I didn't film it. I'm really out of the practice of filming. I had grand plans to do so much filming last week, and then I got sick, so So these 4 books in the same romance series by Ilsa Madam Mills were just your standard like sports romance, following like each member of a sort of core group of friends from doing sports in college in America, It was really fun. The first three, I think, the first two, I felt had like very like sexist, misogynistic undertones. Like they were a little bit too strong in that one, so I didn't enjoy. But it didn't like. I was just sort of ignoring it for the romance and the fun. But the second two were much better, and the last one was definitely my favourite, and has renewed a sense for me that I love a paintballing scene in a romance book. There's another book that I read in February this month that has a paintballing scene in it, and I love the paintballing scene. So yeah, the characters got a lot better the further we went on in the series, but at the beginning of the month I just wasn't sure what I wanted to read. Like I'd read so much in December, I was just like chilling out, and started the year off with some romance books. The first two in this series, I Dare You and I Bet You, I gave 3 stars each, and then the second two in the series, I Hate You and I Promise You, I gave 3.5 stars each, and I really enjoyed these ones a lot more. These are older in Ilsa Madam Mills' back catalogue. I've read more recent books by Ilsa Madam Mills, which I really liked and I found really fun, but these ones are obviously slightly further back in her back catalogue, so that potentially might be why I didn't enjoy them as much as what I did Dear Ava and The Boyfriend Bargain, which I really enjoyed. So the first book is a dare trope book, that's why it's called I Dare You. And yes, that one's got the dare trope. The second one is a bet trope, but it's got the bet trope, which I hate the way it played out, but also it's quarterback and virgin, so I didn't really vibe with that. It was just a bit annoying, to be honest. Oh, and also they each like character had something they were obsessed with. So like the first one was obsessed with, oh, I can't remember what film it was, but the second one was obsessed with Twilight, the one that, and I was just like, I'm bored now. I'm literally so bored. But then after that we had Second Chance. So the third one was like a second chance romance after a previous fling. So there was a few different varying tropes in there, but nothing sort of super new and novel for me anyway. And then the 5th book that I read in the month was Love in Colour by Bolu Babalola. I will pop the picture of this here because I've taken this home because I just don't have the space for any more books right now. I needed to get rid of it straight away. And this is a collection of short stories following like different like mythical love stories across the ages. So we've got some like that are less well known or I've never heard of, and some that are obviously more familiar with, and these are just the most beautiful love stories. Every single one I was invested in. I really enjoyed it, and it was my first 5-star read of the year because I just really loved it. I found each story really vivid, and I hadn't read a short story collection in such a long time that I just really enjoyed it. Then next we have The Secret by Rhonda Bryan, I think. Rhonda Bryan. The Secret. It's just The Secret, you know, manifestation. And I picked this up on audio because I'd already bought it last year, and sort of soft DNF'd it last year when I just realised that it was a little bit chaotic. And The Secret is a non-fiction novel, or it's a non-fiction book, and it's about the secret, which is the power of manifestation and believing, and like believing in the universe. And I like the idea of like power of positive thinking and manifestation. Personally for me, I really think that I could do with sometimes a little bit of a mindset change. However, some of The Secret is absolute fucking bullshit. Like I know that they say that if you don't believe in the secret, then it doesn't happen, and that's the whole book. It was like 4 hours long, so I listened to it all like in one Sunday afternoon, going for a little walk and stuff, when I needed some manifestation. I mean, it didn't work for me, but and they all say, oh, it's because you don't believe in the power of the secret. But personally, I can believe to an extent, but then when it extends to all you have to do is believe that you're thin and then you'll be thin. I mean, first of all, that is problematic in itself, and but second of all, that's just not how it works. And also the idea that someone can cure their sickness with positive thinking, and you know, like all sorts of horrible diseases and things like that can be cured just by being positive and like believing in the universe. The universe will save your life, and obviously that's just not how it works. And I think I wouldn't recommend it for that reason, because I think that's not the way forwards, and I think it's completely inappropriate and it really pissed me off. However, I do like the idea of like manifestation and positive thinking and the power of the mind in that sense. So I am looking for something a little bit of that on that vein, but just more of like a kick up the bum sort of thing, but something no bullshit, because I did that, it felt like bullshit to me. I give it 2.5 stars, but I feel like I really should give it 2 stars because I just don't have fond memories of it. There were a couple of phrasings in there that I found really poignant, but for the most part I was rolling my eyes at some of the examples used, and the constant fat shaming as well was pissed me off. Oh god, you are in for a ride, because next I read Fortuna Swan. I've got a vlog in which I lose my mind over Fortuna Swan. I will link it down below. Like I said earlier, all the vlogs will be linked in. I read Fortuna Swan, Rest of Summer and Deadly Dreams all together in 1 week. I read Fortuna Swan and I thought I was going to love it. I thought it was going to be it for me, because if you know me, I love From Blood and Ash. I can't, yeah, we won't go into From Blood and Ash. Can't be mentioned in the same sentence as Fortuna Swan in my opinion. But I heard that Fortuna Swan was like this really fun fae fantasy romance. I'll just tell you a little bit about it now. It's about Fortuna. She is one of the last living nightmares, but when she touches someone, she can like tap into their fears and basically create visions for them, and you know, scare them shitless basically. And she is a very rare magical being, but she lives in the real world. Her brother's been missing for like 2 years, and she's not in a good place in her life. And she meets Collis, who says, oh, I can find your brother for you, but if you marry me. And she's like, alright then. And you know what, I would be there for that if there wasn't so much bloody plot in this book. I hated it. Okay, I didn't hate it. I thought Fortuna Swan had potential. I didn't think it was good, but I thought it had potential, and I was like, I'm going to get so hooked on this series. I know it. By the end of the series, I'm going to be obsessed. That's what I was thinking I was going to be. And then I read Fortuna Swan, and I was like, where's the plot? I thought there was going to be some sort of smart. There's a little bit, but I mean, there wasn't. There was like there was tension. The tension was good, and the characters, like I was building on the characters, but so much was happening, one after another, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was getting whiplash. And the end of the first book, I thought, you know what, this could be really good. This could be good. We're going to see what happens in the second book. And like 100,000 things happen in the second book. The second book was wild, and then I know everyone talks about the ending of the second book, and this is one of the main reasons I really wanted to continue, because I wanted to find out what was going on with the second book. And if you're the same as me, don't wait to see what happens at the end of the second book, because it's fucking awful. I hate it. I hate every minute of it. No, let's cut that out, because that's kind of a spoiler. So something happened, and it was like the beginning of the end, and I was like, oh my god, I can see it now. This has made me really invested, this turn of events, what's going to happen. But I hated it. I was so upset by what had happened. I was like, for God's sake, this is going to ruin the whole plot of what's going to happen. And then something else happened as a result of that first thing happening, and it was the most disgusting thing I've ever read. Genuinely. The detail, not necessary. It's just so unnecessary. I feel traumatised from it every time I think about it. I'm traumatised, and I know there were content warnings at the beginning of the book, which is great, but please pay attention to the content warnings. And if you think that you may, just pay attention. Please check the content warnings. And also, it was horrific. And then I just read the third one, to be honest, and it was like whiplash, and so much was going on. And then it was like this. The book was going in one direction, and then it went. It's like those TikToks where they draw. The drawing TikToks, you know, where they get to one end and they're like, do, 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 do. That one. I gave the first one 3 stars. then the second one 2 stars, and the third one 3 stars again. But I feel like they all should get 2 stars now. It's definitely a 2-star series, but I'm going to read the 4th one because I couldn't tell, like, genuinely I couldn't tell you why. Then during TBRPG-a-thon hosted by Ro from Wandering Through Worlds, who's one of my favourite booktubers to watch, which was like a choose your own adventure TBRPG, like RPG game, role-playing game. Why can't I speak? I can't speak anymore. I read the entirety of the LiQWYD Traders trilogy, which works out to be like 2,000 pages, 2,500 pages. So half of my reading was during this week where I read these fat ass books. I'm just gonna hold up. Ship of Destiny because I literally cannot hold them all up. They're so fucking heavy. But this is the second trilogy in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderlings, and this particular series is set with different characters from the first series, but it has strong links. So I would recommend reading the Farseer trilogy first, and then during, so the Farseer trilogy is about Fitz, who is the bastard son of the Prince in Waiting, and it's about his life going into court after living, basically his grandfather kicks him out and he has to live at court, but as he's a bastard, he's kind of in this in-between where he's important but he's not important enough to certain people, and it's kind of navigating the politics of the world, and it's so beautiful, like it's amazing. But the live ships actually goes to a different part of the world in which the Realm of the Elderlings, and it's about the live ship traders, and basically there is a thing such as a live ship, which is a ship made of wizard wood, and after 3 family members have lived and passed away on board the decks of this ship, their souls are sucked or taken in to the live ship, and then the figurehead on the front of the live ship becomes animated, and these are very sought after ships, and obviously they can the ship is a character in itself, and there's so much going on in this. I couldn't even begin to tell you all the different plot threads, and this again, such beautiful writing. The whole series gave 5 stars because I felt this story was so vivid. I loved every minute. I enjoyed the entirety of watching how this whole story played out, and I just couldn't recommend it enough. It was my favourite experience reading a chunky fantasy novel in some time, and I really enjoyed it. Then next, in the last week of January, I didn't do too much reading. I just felt really slumpy after reading the live ship books, but I did actually read 3 books, but they were all very short. So I read Across the Green Grass, I've always called it grass, Across the Green Grass Fields, and I also read Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shauna Maguire, and these books are the last 2 or the most recent 2 in the Wayward Children series, and this is a series in which it's set mostly at a school called Eleanor Westwood Home for Wayward Children, and this is about children who have found a door in their childhood and they've gone through the door into another portal world, and there's many different worlds, and it's just about these children coming back to our world as we know it, and trying to adjust to that, knowing that they found the perfect world out there for them. The first one, Across the Green Grass Fields is about a young intersex girl who finds out that she's intersex and sort of runs away from school just for a bit. She's not running away from home or anything, but she finds a field she finds a door which leads into a realm of like unicorn, and it's all very horsey, and she sort of stays there, and it's very quick. These books are only like a couple of 100 pages, and you can tell that I think my taste has started to change, and when I'm not as into a novel like I was for Across the Green Grass Fields, I really like the character, I just didn't like the setting. And then the one following on from that is in which one of the main characters who's featured in some of the other novels, goes to the other school, which is for school for children who basically didn't enjoy their worlds and want to forget their worlds because they had, you know, a scary time. Some of these places can be very scary, and it's showing that side of the world there, and it sort of expands the world a lot. But I just felt that it was really, really short, and I know that that's the point of the series, but I just wanted a little bit more from it, like a little bit more. It all felt too rushed near the end, and that was disappointing because I just loved these so much before. But I do think like some of the early ones I really enjoy, and they are really fun reads. I did give Across the Green Grass Fields 3.5 stars out of 5, and I gave Where the Drowned Girls Go 3.75 stars out of 5. I forgot a book, my journal. The last book I read in January was I Think I Might Love You by Christina Jones, and this is another novella from a romance series, and it's about this young woman who basically she finds out that her boyfriend has another family, or well, he had a wife, and she stumbles drunk into her sister's apartment that she is leasing out because she thinks she can crash at her sister's place whilst she's left her boyfriend who she lives with, and she crashes her sister's place, but her sister's like staying away at the moment, so she's like leased it out to someone, and this man is naked, and she bumps into him, and they get off to a really bad start. And then she doesn't accidentally punch him in the face. She punches him in the face because she thinks he's broken into her sister's apartment, and blah blah blah. And then she gets arrested for like slashing her ex-boyfriend's tires, and she has to do community service for this, and she has to do community service at the vets in which the guy from the apartment works in. So it's kind of like a get off to a really wrong foot start, and it goes quite quickly, and it obviously moves it's very short, it's very fluffy, but it was really enjoyable, and I really like their writing style. I just wish it was longer, so I think I'd definitely look into reading some of the author's longer novels, because I think I'd really enjoy it, and I probably will continue the series because it was really fun, and it was just something to read when I didn't really feel like reading anything else. So yeah, that left me with quite a few books still on my TBR that I didn't read. I didn't finish Under the Whispering Door, Ship of Destiny. No, I did read Ship of Destiny. I didn't finish Under the Whispering Door, Ruin of Kings, or Our Violent Delights. So I moved them onto my February TBR, and yeah, I don't know why I did that because now I'm struggling. But yeah, I'm just going to wrap this up here because this has been so much longer than any of my other videos ever. This has been longer than it needs to be, so I'm just going to wrap this right up here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you again soon. Goodbye.